Game Informer released some Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay, and they didn't show us a full gameplay walkthrough, but they did show us some snippets of parkour, stealth, and other stuff within the game, and a lot of it has exceeded my expectations. Now let's get into parkour first. Let's look back a few months back when Assassin's Creed Mirage was first revealed in its demo in Ubisoft Forward. Many people did not like how the parkour seemed. It seemed still like Valhalla, very sticky, very clunky, very heavy. People did not see the changes the devs were saying that they did. The devs claimed that they had a faster, better, more fluid parkour system, and in the trailer and gameplay demo we've seen, parkour still seemed very heavy and clunky, and that was a main complaint. And thankfully, from the gameplay we've seen from Game Informer that you're seeing on screen right now, the parkour just looks way faster. It looks very fluid. I'm gonna be honest, it does not look as detailed as Assassin's Creed Unity and Syndicate, which in my opinion are the peak of parkour, but it still looks much better from the previous RPG games. It looks smoother, faster, and there are some complex systems here and there considering the city is built around parkour. Even the guys at Game Informer, the guys who are playing the game, said that the parkour feels way smoother and the city is just built towards parkour. Every single place you look at, there's a parkour route you can take, which is just very reassuring for the new parkour system they have in place. It's not perfect, it's not the best system we've had, but it's a much better improvement over the older games that we got, which are the RPG games. Now when it comes to stealth, it also looks way better than what we've seen in the demo. The assassinations look way faster and way more fluid. The way chain assassination works looks just as fast, and I really like how the enemies react, how their bodies react when they get killed by a throwing knife or the chain assassination. They've also showed us the ledge assassination that we saw in the demo initially. Everything just looks really smooth and polished. It just flows really well together. It reminds me something of Unity. It has this Unity vibe to it where the parkour is very fast and fluid, and the assassinations are very quick. I just really like the flow from what we've seen. They've also showed us some of the stealth tools that we can use, which are the throwing knife. The throwing knife also has a poisonous version, which means whenever you do throw the throwing knife on an enemy, they can slowly get poisoned if they don't get killed instantly, which is very interesting, especially for the bigger enemies that will probably be more annoying. Or if you get into combat, you can use a poisonous knife. And that's one thing I do want to discuss. The game hasn't shown us much of combat. I definitely do understand why, because they're targeting a more stealth focused game and a parkour focused game, but it would be nice to see some combat before the game releases. To be fair, they did show us very small snippets, around 15 to 20 seconds worth of combat, and the combat does look way better than the previous games. It looks to be more parry based. It reminds me of something like an easier version of a Souls game or the Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order games. It looks to be like an easier version, but I do appreciate the parry based system. I really like it more than the counter based system. Now the last thing to discuss here is graphics, and graphics initially in the demo and the trailers looked decent. They looked good. They looked very similar to what we've been getting with the RPG games, but I'll be honest, if this is the final build, it looks stunning. The lighting looks really good, the way the robes flow, the physics, the graphics, everything looks really well done. It just runs really well and graphically is stunning. The lighting, the atmosphere, everything just looks really damn good here. In general, what I can say from the gameplay we've seen, I'm honestly just really surprised from what we've seen, and I feel like Mirage has exceeded my expectations. To be fair, my expectations weren't the highest, especially after Valhalla being a very action-based game. It really just ditched the whole Assassin's Creed name. It was way more focused on action, and the stealth was terrible in that game. So I really didn't expect much from their next installment, but I'm gonna be fair. Mirage took me by surprise. It has a lot of stealth tools to use. It has faster animations. The parkour looks to be fast and fluid. I did not expect any of these, and for now, all we've seen is side missions. We haven't seen anything from the black box missions or the main story missions, which is still a surprise to see when the game comes out. I really do hope Mirage ends up being a success like we are seeing it to be. The gameplay we've seen, everything looks very reassuring, everything looks very good, smooth and polished. What the devs have been saying about having a self-focused game seems to be real, and sometimes it is hard to trust Ubisoft's word, especially after the false promises we've had in the past few years. Here's hoping they do release Mirage in a good state, and it's a really good game, and I'm really hoping it's just better from the previous few games that we've got.